Hello everybody and welcome back to more of the Inquisitor series where Thanaton just got away from me and he almost blew up all this fuel. However, we just saved it. Now it's time to report back in and see if we can actually find where Thanaton went.
My lord, the refinery is ours. The fleet is refueling as we speak.
It's time we struck at Thanaton directly.
With pleasure, my lord. We've located Thanaton's main base of operations on Corellia. An old Republic command center inside the Museum of Corellian Industry. All of his resources are centered on that base. And better still, few people know that it no longer belongs to the Republic.
We must obliterate Thanaton's base. Get the fleet ready.
The fleet has more than enough firepower to do the job, but unfortunately the base is shielded from within against orbital attacks. If I know Thanaton, the place is just as heavily guarded inside. To take out those shields, you'll want a strike force at your back.
Are you offering your men to help me?
I'm afraid I don't have a man to spare, and certainly none with the kind of training you'd need. You'd want field commandos. There's an Imperial Commando outpost outside the Coronet City Zoo. They should get you inside the base to destroy the shield generators. When the shields are down, the fleet will strike.
Seems like a pretty obvious thing to do, so we'll go and do that. However, you're about to see me ding 50, which means, of course, that at level 50, you know, before Rise of the Hutt Cartel came out, you go and do the mission on the fleet and you got geared out. So we're going to have all of my new gear here, which is quite nice. It's nice having the gear to be able to, you know, do all this kind of stuff. And I guess make it go a little quicker. There's also a couple other things that are new. First of all, I had waited until Rise of the Hutt Cartel came out to finish the story, so I had left off there. But we'll talk about all of that. And you should notice that the frame rate is a bit smoother, and that's because this is my new computer build as well.
My lord, unbelievable. I never expected to see you again. I'm sure you don't remember me.
On the contrary, Ilan, I never forget a faithful servant.
I am humbled, my lord. After Balmoral was secured, they transferred me to the Sullust sector, and when the war broke out, they sent me here. What can I do for you? We don't have much, but what we do have is yours.
I'm sure you've heard of my feud with Darth Thanaton. I am prepared to strike at his base, but I need backup.
There's a need I'm all too familiar with. We've been getting clobbered, but we're expecting reinforcements. When they arrive, I should be able to form an assault squad for you.
Major Ilan, Republic soldiers incoming.
Dang Republic Commando sneaking in like that. By the way, Republic Commando, best Star Wars game ever made, in my opinion at least. Now it's worth noting that he was the guy on Balmora that... You remember the guy who was all squabbling to me and was forcing me to go save his son who happened to be a Sith, and he was just like, oh, my son is so important, go save him. And I was like, no. He's like, well, if you don't save him, I'm gonna kill, or I'm not gonna help you. And my character decided that if he was gonna do that, she was gonna kill him. And she said straight to his face, if you make me do this, I'm gonna kill him. He was like, whatever, you won't do that, loser. And sure enough, I killed him because my character's a woman of her word. Well, the guy who stepped up after that, the commander was dead because the commander retaliated against that, and I had to kill him as well, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But the guy who stepped afterwards was this one, and he has helped me pretty well.
Your help made all the difference, my lord, but I don't know how long we can hold this position. We've been losing soldiers as fast as we can replace them, but if you need the Empire's finest, we're there for you.
I am most grateful.
Anything I can do to help, my lord. Once you're inside Thanaton's base, use this signaler, and I'll send my men the order to attack.
Really, it's just good to see that he got a promotion of some sort, or that he's in charge of more than just what he was in charge of on Balmora, because that was pretty terrible. Now, back to what I was saying about the whole waiting until after Rise of the Hutt Cartel came out. So basically, what happened was, towards the end of the story, I had gotten to where I was, and then I had gotten inside information, which doesn't happen very often. But in this one case, I got inside information that Rise of the Hutt Cartel, or at least the announcement date for its release date, was going to be coming very soon, and that's where I had left off on the story. So I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, let's wait and see when Rise of the Hutt Cartel will come out. And it was like 3 weeks later is when it was going to be coming out. So I decided to wait for it to come out, and then I will continue the story. And there's a couple reasons for that. The first is that I will have the new talents, and I did want to try those out because I wouldn't necessarily be playing this character for a while. So I wanted to try those out and kind of see where the assassin was sitting in the DPS sense with the new changes, and it's feeling pretty good, I can say that for sure. The other thing was, I knew that I would have access to a better computer, and the reason behind that is obviously I knew that I was going to upgrade my computer, you know, around this time, but I knew that it would be right before Rise of the Hutt Cartel. Unfortunately, it wasn't until like a week afterwards, so I ended up waiting for the parts to come in, and then I recorded the rest of the Inquisitor series. So what you're seeing here is the result of that. This is much smoother gameplay. Holy cow, is it nice to watch. It's way different too. Like, if you go back and watch the previous episode on Corellia usually gave me anywhere from 18 to 25 frames per second. That was about the average, which is really low. Now, on places like Dromund Kaas, you know, if you're out in the wilderness, I was getting like 30. That's not bad. You get to Voss, and that's 20 again, so that's pretty terrible. Belsavis is like 30, so that's pretty standard. This is all running at, it's running at 60 frames per second is what it's recording at. Solid 60 frames per second. However, my game runs at like 120, 110 frames per second when I'm on Corellia now, which is a huge increase. And this allows us to have much better footage, basically, as you can clearly see here. Now, I wanted to test this in this series to kind of see, or to kind of give you a preview, I guess is the best way to put it, of the things to come. Because coming up next is the Smuggler series for the Makeb stuff, and then you have, I think I might do this character to go through the Makeb. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out, but we're going to do Imperial and Republic playthroughs of that. And then you're going to have my agent, the sniper level, like 1 to 50, I guess now 1 to 55, but it would be 1 to 50, the story content I do for that. That coming out as well. So everything's going to be a lot smoother. I wanted to kind of give you guys a taste of what that's all going to be like now. It's just way better, and it's higher quality in my opinion.
You are too canny. Defense Protocol 6 now! Now!
As far as the Inquisitor stuff goes for the changes, I've noticed that my force I'm not having to worry about nearly as much. Like my force is almost always pretty damn full, and it's the regeneration rate on that. But I think I have alacrity on this gear, which could be helping. I'm not entirely sure. This is, I think, the Stalker gear, which is the like Taiwanese really crap gear. But you know what? It's better than what I was wearing, and you know, at the end of the day, if I can get any upgrade, it's nice. Now, for the sniper stuff, I'll be doing more of the, I guess, cartel market gear. There's really nothing new that came in with Rise of the Hutt Cartel, other than more cartel market gear. So there's going to be a lot more variation there as far as gear goes. Now, to be fair, I did have a new set every single planet, unless it was a crossover planet like Quesh, or even the, like, Korriban to Dromund Kaas there was a transition there, even though there didn't really need to be, as far as gear goes. So, I'm happy with this gear, though. I like this gear for Corellia. I did like the previous set better, but I didn't want to rip all the mounts out, because it's very expensive to do that and switch it over to another set when they are expensive mods, such as the ones that are in this set of gear.
Lord! Heavy fire! Help! Front line space! Republic forces. Defenses weakened. Reckless disregard. An Imperial behavior.
You're under attack. Hold tight, I'll be right there.
Republic surprise attack. Need help. Hurry.
We better go save him because he is really cool and he's been helping me out a ton, so I'm not going to let him die. Now, it's worth noting that there is a little bit of news that comes along with all this. First of all, because there isn't really a whole lot going on for me to talk about in the Inquisitor story to begin with. However, the other thing is that we need to talk about the Smuggler series coming up. That is going to be very short. There is a lot of content on Mecheb, but it's not enough to, give you like a month worth of content, I don't think. So I already have some of it recorded. It'll be interesting to go through. However, I think you guys are really going to like it because the whole Mecheb story takes place during my smuggler and my bounty hunters lifeline. And I guess also these two characters, my Inquisitor and my Consular, are also a part of that. Same with my agent and my trooper. That's like this time frame we're talking about in my legacy. The Jedi, he wasn't nobody knows where he's at, I guess is the best way to put it. But overall, he's not involved in the Mecheb stuff as far as his legacy story is concerned for you guys. He's not, a part of that. He didn't go there and do what he needs to do. However, you'll see that my smuggler is a part of that. My bounty hunter is a part of that. This character will probably be a part of that, and so will be the agent. But obviously, I want to record that because the Mecheb story is one story for each faction. It's not split up. There's little differences here and there based on what class you are, but it's just one story. So, unfortunately, what I was going to do was have each of the classes play through the Mecheb stuff and then give you guys a series on all of that. But it's just going to be the Smuggler and then the Agent or the Inquisitor, either one of those. I haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet. And then the Agent series will start. So you'll start seeing all of this in the next month or two. Like the Agent stuff, but the Smuggler stuff starts real soon.
How can a Dark Council member just disappear?
What do you mean he's disappeared?
He's just gone. I've got every analyst in my command on it. I'm calling in favors with Imperial intelligence.
As I suspected, you don't have the power to defend your own. Half measures count for nothing in the Kagath. Now, see if you can finish what you've started. The show will be at the Government Plaza. Everyone will be there. Don't miss it.
Wow, he's actually challenging me to like a one-on-one duel. This is going to be surprising for him because he's going to get his face owned.